How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Level in Deckcast. Today we're doing a little bit of convoy action. Probably one of my favorite things to collect is just trucks in general. Not necessarily Matchbox, but trucks in general. I haven't been doing too many of the convoys for many years, but recently, about a year ago, I decided to start hunting down some convoys. These are some of the original convoys. Couple different packages we'll go over here. This is CY1. These were marked for a long time. As a matter of fact, even into 2005, they were still getting numbers on there. So convoy number 1 is what it says. This one is the Kenworth Auto Transporter. You see there right there on the side. And the nice blue window box. It's from the early 80s. So we'll slide this guy out of there. And get the box out of here. Don't worry, we'll save the box, I'm sure, for another rainy day, I'm sure. So some of the original convoys here. It does have a pretty nice cab over here, Kenworth. This one looks good. Lots and lots of chrome on these. They look fantastic. This one is 1981 Macau base. No mud flaps or nothing like that in the back. But this looks good. Yellow with some blue and dark blue striping on it. Really, really nice. Yellow window on this one too. Looks cool. This is the auto hauler trailer. This trailer is about the same era. This one is 1982. So this was designed to hook up to all the convoys. Nothing fancy like that. As a matter of fact, Matchbox remade this trailer recently. So the way that this trailer works is there's a little notch in the top. You just pull the trailer forward a little bit and you can push it down. There's no ramp or nothing on the back. You just simply drive it up onto the trailer. Put your car here. The car here, it'll only hold 2 cars on the top. Slide it back. It does have little notches here to hold the cars from moving, and then a little indentation right there. And then it holds 1 car on the bottom as well. So not really super fancy, but it looks cool. It is prints on the side. Those are not stickers. So those yellow striping is looks pretty good. A little simulated of a kind of a hydraulic or whatever in there, but it doesn't really work that way. So this is the way that the trailers hook up. They just go right in there. They do slide back just a little bit, but the fact of the matter is they never really held very well. So even if you slide them back, they really don't hold. It's kind of designed to hold them, but it doesn't really hold them. And it doesn't really matter because you just want to drive them around and make them look cool. So that one looks pretty sweet. I got one. It's a little bit newer. This is a little bit newer style package. They went to these in kind of the later 80s. I really like the packaging, though. I really like this nice chrome looking badge on there. This one is CY16. It's the Scania box truck. Now, it wasn't always going to be this deco, but it'd still be a CY16. So if you're looking for CY16 to be specifically the 7-Up, I believe that the designation was more so for the truck and trailer combination, more so than the deco on it. But again, I'm not a super expert of 80s Matchbox era, so put them out of there. A little bit of yellowing in the blister there part, but that's okay. It's okay. The trailer and the truck are perfect, though. There's no yellowing on this. That is print on the side. Or, I'm sorry, that's a sticker. I thought it was a print. That is sticker. So it says 7-Up on the side. Very old school 7-Up. This was the box trailer. Did open up in the back. So nothing fancy there, but it did open up. The details on the trailer looks pretty good. This is your base deets right there, 1981 as well. For the trailer, just kind of hooks in the front, and then they just use hot little pins in there to melt the glue or melt the plastic. It's not actually technically riveted. This is one of the coolest convoy trucks they ever did. This is the Scania T142. With the nice brush guard on the front. You see it is right-hand drive. I really like this semi. It was one of the coolest ones they ever did. Got your stack and your air intake in the back. Nice detail on the chassis. Looks really good. There's your base deets. Looks fantastic. 1985 for this one. So this one came in much later. Again, silver packaging. Later 80s. It's kind of where it came from. Again, it doesn't really hold on there very well, but they are designed. They are universal. All of these trucks can hold each other's trailers, and they can work just fine. So if I wanted to tow this with the Scania, it works just fine. I can tow it around with no problems. They were really, really good about that, about back in the day, about making things universally used and universally worked. So we'll kind of park him over here. We'll back our 7-Eleven up over there, 7-Up. All right. I have a couple more loose ones that I picked up. I did recently get the Porsche one as well. I put that on my Instagram. That's up in the display case. But finally picked up the Ferrari one. So super stoked about that. Been looking for this one for a little bit too. So I now have the Jaguar, the Ferrari, and the Porsche. Not sure if they did some other ones, but I'll have to check that out. This one was loose. It's a little dirty on the side, but it is in excellent, excellent condition. I love this DAF. This is the 3300 Space Cab. There is your deets on the bottom. This one is 1987. Another one of the trailers that they did. They used this low boy trailer down here for a bunch of different things. They call it the low bed trailer. They used this for, they had like a TV news version. They had this one, which is kind of like the kind of a stockade looking kind of detail to the side. They had one that was more so for like a beacons or an allied movers type of stuff. Opening doors in the back. They are just two giant doors. Open up. There's no ramps or nothing. It's all hollow inside. Pretty straightforward. It does say long vehicle etched in there. Trailer on one side with your plate detail on the other side. Cool stuff that they used to do back in the day, but they don't mix, they don't etch stuff into the casting like that anymore. And then I got this one as well. This one is your Aerodine. This is the Kenworth Aerodine, which looks fantastic. This one in green with some two-tones on there. Again, this was loose. It's an excellent, excellent shape. It's not mint. It's not perfect, but there is your Kenworth Aerodine. So scale is 1/100th scale is what it says. This one is England base. 1963. Wow, I didn't think that this casting was that old. Apologize about that. Very interesting. Very interesting. Didn't think that this was England based, but very interesting. Trailer is a canopy top. This is the same base that they used for the box truck. So exact same box trailer. Of course, this one is England base. The top does come off. This is attached to the trailer. So you can have yourself kind of a closed-in bed kind of thing. And then, of course, there is your canopy with a little bit of details on the top. It says Interstate Trucking on the side. Those are stickers, which look pretty good. A little bit discoloration, just a teeny bit from being as old as it is. That would usually be a pretty brilliant white for the text, but looks pretty good. So throw him back there. And then I got one more. This is a newer one. So this is going to be the same Kenworth Aerodine, but this is not going to be an England base. Oh, it is an England base. So they must have used this Tampo for a long time. See, this one has a little bit of a flaw on the assembly. See, the base didn't quite sit right when they riveted it, but it is what it is. It's still new. No interior in this one as well. There's no interiors in these. A little bit of dust on the back. A little bit of cleanup is all it needs. Midnight Express delivery. That is a sticker again. I really thought that this was a much older release, but I'll learn something new every day too. And then just the same opening doors in the back. Nothing fancy with that. It looks good. So you see the Convoy trucks were pretty good at scaling to each other. They were pretty nice. And of course, Convoy trucks kind of went away in the mid to late 90s. There were some few things right at the end. And then in 2005, when Matchbox almost went under, due to the Ultra Heroes and everything else fiasco that happened in 2003 and 2004, Matchbox was trying really hard to recoup where they were in 2005. So they decided to bring Convoys back in 2005. And they were still using this ugly crown wheel, which was just terrible. So I did pick up a bunch of these. This is the full set for this particular release. There's going to be the McDonald's, Sonic X, DHL, Jeep, Michelin, and then there's a YuGiOh, which was a last release. For this initial wave, there is your deets, should you want the deets. Again, way back in the day, 2005. So these are 18 years ago, which is absolutely ridiculous. So we'll crack this one open. This one has been clearly removed and put back in there, but that's okay, because we're going to take it out and we're never going to put it back in there and get rid of the packaging. Now, the way that these were designed, these were using some of the existing castings. This is an existing casting. This was the Ford Aromax. This existed in the original Convoy line, and it was used quite extensively in the early 90s for sure. This casting was pretty heavily used. It's a little bit modified for this particular release. You see, it was originally from 1991. These are China bases on these. There you see your circle Matchbox logo from that era. Of course, no chrome on these because chrome would cost money. No print on these because, of course, that would cost money. They were trying to save the brand on a budget, which was a really stupid idea, but they were definitely trying their best. Now, this casting does have two pieces. The cab is one piece of metal, and then there is a chassis, which is a separate piece of metal, and then all the gray you see is part of the base. So it's very interesting assembly. It's a little bit more expensive than standard. Now, the trailers are all new. These trailers were brand spanking new for the return in 2005. For whatever reason, they decided to give them all these skirts all the way around. I don't know if they did that for kind of give it a little bit of Euro flair or what they did, but these are all stickers on the side. Of course, there's Ronald McDonald there. There is the base Dietz 2005. Asada's rig is what it's called. I'm sure he's the one that designed it, so kind of cool looking at that. They are attached, snapped in the front just like before. These do have opening doors, or opening door in the back, just one giant door, because of course that's cheaper. Now, the trucks here, these are essentially the same ones, but the hook pin changed. So if we want to take one of our previous trucks, take our Kenworth, it does fit in there, but it doesn't slide. So it does go into the main pitch part, so you can tow it around. It does work that way, but you just can't slide the trailer back. And then vice versa, if you wanted to use one of the older Convoy trailers with the newer one, that works as well. Those do slide back because the pin on this one is bigger. And you'll see that the trailers were significantly larger as well. You can see how much bigger the trailers got. They definitely got more appropriately sized. So that was definitely a good thing. The trailers that they used in the original Convoys were just too small. But they were designed to fit in a specific size range, I guess, if you want to put it that way. So there is the McDonald's. You see the McDonald's one does slide back and forth. Looks pretty good. It does have permanent landing gear just like the rest of them, so it'll sit there by itself with no issues. So pack this guy up. Yeah, we're not going to be able to fit these all on the screen for sure. All right, next one up is the Sonic X with the tractor cab. You see these are marked as well. So we started with 113. We'll do 114, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Originally sold at Big Lots. Pull our tractor cab out. For Sonic X, I think this is one of the reasons why Convoy went away in the 90s is because they were putting stupid decals on the side. I mean, I get that these are made for kids, but who wants Sonic X on the side of a tractor trailer? That just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. So we'll get this guy out of there. So this was an original casting. This came out in the Hero City type of era. It's actually not that bad for a generic, but it's just ugly. It really is ugly, but it's not as bad as you'd think. It's okay. It's okay. There are the base Dietz 2004 Mattel. So this came out right before the Convoys came back, but it's all right. They've used that casting a lot since then. It's pearl white, and then of course just Sonic on the side. There's the bad guy Sonic, Dark Sonic, whoever he is. So this is copyright Sonic Project. Nothing fancy besides that, just the Sonic one. Get that one too. This one's tractor cab's always been a pain in my butt. Doesn't quite, there we go. So the tractor cab was designed before they decided to bring Convoys back. It wasn't ever really designed to carry a trailer, I feel like. All right, next one up. This one is actually fantastic. This one's based on an actual real, well, it's a licensed livery, but we don't ever see 18-wheeler DHL trucks really in the U.S., but I guarantee you they exist in many parts of the world. We just don't have a whole lot of DHL service here in the U.S. They just mainly just do international services. It's the same details, just a sticker on the side, but this one looks fantastic because it's DHL. It just looks really, really good. Nothing fancy with the Kenworth, or I'm sorry, the Ford Aromax. Just another standard version, no prints or anything on it. Just solid colors. But this one looks especially nice. I really like that. That looks really, really good. It's a very, very good combination. So we'll kind of pack that guy off to the side. Tractor cab. This is with the Jeep Wrangler. You know, this one's a little bit more believable just because there could be, you know, there could be like, maybe like advertisements or something like that. This one is certainly not wanting to come out of the package. There we go. Again, just the tractor cab, nothing fancy with it. There's the Jeep on the side. Definitely an older Wrangler, you could tell. I mean, this is from 2005, so. But I think they look pretty good. It could definitely live without these terrible, they call these crown wheels, and they're just terrible wheels. They just don't look good at all. They're too flashy. They're too blingy, especially for trucks, for sure. Next one up after that, yes, another Ford Aromax. There's only two cabs that they were using at first. It's the Aromax or the tractor cab. That's all they were using. And they split it kind of 3 and 3. So there is Michelin. Definitely a very realistic, believable deco for this one. Later releases that they did like in late 2005, 2006, and even into 2007. So I think they may have lasted until 2008. They started, you know, bringing out some new cabs, new stuff like that. A lot of new trailers, had some flatbeds, some loads and stuff on them. This was just the original push, which was not very good. But again, they had to run things on a budget, which was ridiculous. But I get it. I get it. Matchbox has always been running on a budget, and that's kind of the problem that they are barely surviving every year, it seems like, because there's just budget. With the exception of moving parts. That they are definitely dumping money into moving parts, and it is definitely taken off. All right, last one from that 2005 era. Tractor cab with YuGiOh on the side. Of course, YuGiOh had trading cards, anime, cartoons, all that good stuff like that. I get it. It's probably popular, but it's just a meh. It's just a meh. You can tell these things are a little bit dusty. You can tell some of them have been displayed. There is your YuGiOh on the side. I know nothing about that other than that it's like anime or there's a trading card game or something to that effect. But I just don't know any other details besides that. Now, Matchbox did bring back the Convoys again a few years ago. We have a couple of them just for show purposes. We got one brand new casting out of this whole mix. And that particular casting happened to be this one. This is the Western Star. This one was a really late addition. It ended up getting a promo run for Western Star themselves. So you will be able to, well, you won't be able to, but potentially in the future, you might be able to find one of these in solid red, carded on a single blister. Those were made exclusively for Western Star to either sell at their dealerships or give out to partners or whatever. They have shown up on eBay very, very rarely. They usually go for about $100 a piece now. If you can find one, they're very, very rare. This was also in a 9-pack exclusive, but we have not seen this in the basic range as of quite yet. 2020 Western Star 4900. Now, this one doesn't have any interior because it's got an extra axle on there, so they made no interior for it. But you will notice that they changed the hitch point. So the hitch is changed again. So these are not anywhere near the first two sets of Convoys. So the new trailers won't fit anything you see here. They won't fit anything there. None of those will be able to carry this trailer whatsoever. Now, the only good thing about it is you can carry the previous trailers. So you can't use the new trailers with old trucks, but you can use old trailers with new trucks. So I guess there's that. But it's a little unfortunate. I don't know why they had to change it. I think this one right here was fine. It had the metal pin and stuff in there. I think that would have been sufficient, but apparently the Matchbox team just thought otherwise. Now we do have a tanker trailer. This tanker trailer actually debuted in this era of Convoy towards the end. But this one's been modified a little bit. It's basically the same trailer, though. There's your base deets. So it's 2019 on there. You see, it was modified. But they did come up with this Tinker trailer from back then. So snap this guy back on there. So those ones actually stay. So when you actually snap them, they stay. They don't go nowhere. Now, one cool thing that Matchbox did try to do is they did try to bring some nostalgia to the Convoy line when they brought it back. And so they had this, right? And so they made this. So that is the reincarnation of that original trailer. So these trailers are the same trailers. Now, this is a brand new mold. Okay, so this was not directly copied from this one here, as far as like using the same mold. But the design was exact. Let me get this to hopefully snap back in there. This one's a little bit a pain in my butt. There we go. So their designs and stuff are the same. You'll see all the same rivet spots and whatnot, all that good stuff like that. Still has the integrated landing gear as well. But then when you look at the bases, obviously they're assembled differently. And then, of course, the new trailer on the top is completely plastic, with exception of this little bit of metal that holds the wheels on. But that's it. But it's still pretty cool. Matchbox Auto Transport. And, of course, this one still works the exact same. It slides forward. You drop the top down, load your cars up there. You bring it up. You slide it backwards. It snaps in. Heard the click. And then there you go. You're off to the races. Now, Matchbox did briefly do some super convoys. They were bigger. They were much more closer to 1/64 scale. Unfortunately, I don't have any super convoys. I used to have super convoys, but I sold them all. Worst decision I've ever made in my life. But this is a toned down version of that exact casting, one of the exact castings they used in Super Convoy. They just shrunk it down to fit into this particular line. Now, what's interesting about this model is there is an interior in there. But there's a giant pillar that goes right through it, which is the rivet spot. It is called the Matchbox Cab Over. Again, this is a completely new tool for the Convoy line at the time, but this was just a shrunk down version of a casting that already existed. So nothing new with that particular casting. So throw that guy in there. So that's kind of where we're at. And then just a last little token here. Matchbox did release a new cab, Convoy cab, last year. This is actually, I think it might have been early this year. This is the Kenworth, I'm sorry, the Freightliner, 1979 Freightliner FLT. I did do a wheel swap on this. So these are custom wheels. These are Matchbox wheels, though. These are when Matchbox was doing premier rigs, premier trucks, and stuff like that. So they had a really, really nice semi-truck Real Rider wheel. Looked very, very good. So I did a little bit of wheel swap on there because I think it looks good. Now, this particular one will hold existing trailers. So it's got the exact same setup as the rest of the trucks do. So if you want to hook up the trailers and go, you do have the option to do that. Although this has only been released in the collector line, it's probably never going to come to the basic range, unfortunately. But it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. So I like that one a lot. So, and it's functional. It works. It's got the same hook system as the rest of them. The still needs a little bit of work on my wheel swap, by the way. It's okay. It just needs a little bit of work. So throw that in there. Throw those guys up there. Give a little back spot there for some convoys, and there you go. That is today's showcase, talking convoys from Matchbox. Let me know if you like convoys. I got a ridiculous amount of trucks, and I really like trucks a lot. I think you guys already realized that, but always happy to bring some trucks to the channel, and hope you guys enjoy that. We'll catch you next time. Leveling.cast saying, peace.